The Rolling Stones, a chronological rock and roll journey. The story begins in 1962 in the Smoky Clubs of London, where Mick Jagger, vocals, Keith Richards, guitar, Brian Jones, multi-instrumentalist, and Ian Stewart, piano, first coalesced, adopting their name from a Muddy Waters track. By 1963, the definitive rhythm section was established with Bill Wyman on bass and Charlie Watts on drums, signing a deal and beginning their transformation from blues purists to chart stars. The breakthrough came quickly. In 1964, they hit UK #1 with the R&B cover, It's All Over Now, cementing their image as the scruffy, rebellious counterpoint to the Beatles. The year 1965 launched them globally when the Jagger-Richards partnership delivered the iconic riff and defining anthem, I Can't Get No Satisfaction, followed by other massive hits like Get Off of My Cloud. As the decade progressed, so did their sound. 1966 saw the band explore darker tones and richer arrangements with the indelible sitar-laced sound of Paint It Black. The turbulent year of 1967 was marked by drug arrests, public scrutiny, and a brief psychedelic detour with songs like Ruby Tuesday. The band swiftly course-corrected back to raw, powerful rock in 1968, declaring their supremacy with the driving energy of Jumpin' Jack Flash. The pivotal year of 1969 brought tragedy and transition. Brian Jones was out, replaced by Mick Taylor, and then Jones died tragically. The band paid tribute at a legendary Hyde Park show while unleashing the classic Honky Tonk Women, but the decade closed violently with the disastrous Altamont Free concert. The 1970s opened with the formation of their own label and the start of a legendary run. 1971 saw their tax exile in France and the release of Sticky Fingers, featuring the timeless single Brown Sugar. This was followed in 1972 by the ragged masterpiece Exile on Main Saint and the powerful, chaotic anthem Tumbling Dice. Chart success continued into 1973 with the ballad Angie. The mid-70s brought another lineup shift. After Mick Taylor's departure in 1974, Ronnie Wood, ex-Faces, joined in 1975, establishing the five-piece core that would endure for decades. The band remained vital, successfully navigating the disco and punk eras by releasing the funky, chart-topping Miss You in 1978, followed by hits like Emotional Rescue in 1980. The 1980s started with a bang. 1981 was dominated by the stadium rock staple Start Me Up and the accompanying enormous tour. Creative tensions brewed in the mid-80s, culminating in deep friction between Jagger and Richards, especially around 1986. The Glimmer Twins pursued solo ventures, but by 1989, they reconciled, recording Steel Wheels and launching a colossal stadium tour, proving their commercial might with tracks like Mixed Emotions. The 1990s and 2000s cemented their status as the world's greatest touring machine. The Voodoo Lounge era began in 1993, setting the stage for massive high-tech stadium shows that continued through the Bridges to Babylon tour in 1997. Their 40th anniversary Licks tour in 2002 was a retrospective triumph. In 2005, they proved their relevance with the critically acclaimed new album, A Bigger Bang, and the single, Streets of Love. The half-century mark arrived in 2012, celebrated with high-profile gigs and the new track, Doom and Gloom. They returned to their roots in 2016 with the Grammy-winning blues covers album, Blue and Lonesome. The ultimate blow came in 2021 with the passing of the irreplaceable Charlie Watts. The remaining band members mourned and continued, dedicating their tours to his memory with Steve Jordan on drums. Finally, in 2023, they released Hackney Diamonds, their first album of original songs in 18 years, powered by the hard-rocking single Angry, ensuring that the Rolling Stones' journey of rock and roll continues, unbroken. The incredible journey of the Rolling Stones began in the blues clubs of London in 1962, rooted in the shared passion of Mick Jagger and Keith Richards for American rhythm and blues. Along with Charlie Watts, Bill Wyman, and Brian Jones, they quickly cultivated a defiant, anti-establishment image, positioning themselves as the bad boys of the British invasion. Their early career was a rapid ascent, transitioning from covering blues standards to forging their own songwriting powerhouse. The mid to late 60s saw them navigate artistic evolution, public controversy, and lineup changes, notably the addition of Mick Taylor and the tragic loss of Jones. By the turn of the decade, they had established their own label and entered their heralded golden era, with albums that cemented their sonic identity. A raw, blues-infused rock sound mixed with country and soul. The 1970s defined their reputation for excess and stadium dominance, particularly after Ronnie Wood joined in 1975. Though internal conflicts, solo projects, and industry trends occasionally challenged their unity in the 1980s, the Glimmer Twins, Jagger and Richards, always reconciled, returning to the road to launch massive, technology-driven world tours that set new benchmarks for the music industry. Throughout the 1990s and 2000s, the Rolling Stones transformed into a cultural institution, celebrated for their tireless performance and unparalleled longevity. The sad passing of Charlie Watts in 2021 was a profound loss. Yet the band honored his legacy by continuing to create and perform, proving that the raw, electric spirit of rock and roll remains eternally within them, culminating most recently with the release of Hackney Diamonds in 2023. Today, after more than 6 decades, the Rolling Stones stand not just as a band, but as a living monument to rebellion, musical endurance, and the primal power of the guitar riff. They are the benchmark by which every succeeding rock act is measured, and their massive legacy is forever enshrined in their greatest generation-defining anthems.